Hello coaches, Dave Newbury here with Ian Barker, looking at Give and Go Live, and today's topic is defending compactness. Ian, welcome.
Hello David, thank you for having me, pleasure to be here.
Fantastic, Ian. So we are looking at defending compactness, and to teach this topic we have selected a small-sided game on half a field with 2 goals. But as we can see here, only one team has the goalkeeper, and that is the team in white. Our focus, as we are looking at the defending topic, is working with the team in red, who is set up as a 4 at the back, 2 up front, playing against a goalkeeper, 3 defenders, and 3 strikers.
So one of the things I just point out to all of our coaches is that this is a goal and a goalkeeper. That's our objective if you're the red team and you win the ball. But very often our goals could be getting over an end line, or they could be attacking multiple small goals on the halfway line or finding a target player. So in this case, the objective for the white team is to strike the ball into this empty net on the halfway line. This makes the defending objective of the red team, our focus, very clear. So what our red team has done is we've got them into our team formation. So I'm guessing we're in a 4-4-2. So we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4 midfielders and our 2 central strikers. And right off the bat, because of what we're trying to defend, we've started to make the team quite narrow. So we've already pinched in our left and right midfielder, which is what we would want to do if we're going to defend the center of the field, or in this case, clipping it into this empty goal. So I think we've got the team in the right type of orientation. We've got the activity set up nicely. And now that we've seen the first ball roll in, we've got to determine what our defending posture will be from this point of view. Clearly, if it is not an aggressive front foot type of defending posture, then there is the ability for this player to clip the ball beyond our strikers and our midfield into the goal, which could represent the feet of a central striker for the white team. So we've got a good organization. We've got some good principles ready to go. Now we need to see how the red team responds in our next diagram.
And the response of the red team has been to put caution to the wind, Ian, and we've got 3 of our defenders that are now rushing towards the ball, including our left back. So let's look at what that results in as we go to the next slide.
Yeah, to me, this is a little bit of a mess, and I'm not quite sure where everybody's come from. So if we're going to commit and we're going to move players in red across, which is fine, and we're going to maybe leave a couple holding, which is fine, all of those things are okay. However, this movement, as designated by the hash line, this must occur as the ball is rolling from the goalkeeper to this player. So that's when that movement must occur. And if that movement is going to happen as aggressively as it appears to on the part of the 4 of them, at least one of them has to get there to get the head of the ball carrier down so that our pressure becomes effective and our cover can then step in and our balance is fine. So the way this is diagrammed, we've got some good things. We've got aggressive movement, and we're certainly hoping that this movement comes as the ball is played. But what we don't see here in our picture is the key of pressure. And if we don't have pressure, then the rest of the team is really not able to create a significant defensive posture, because the white team can potentially play the ball anywhere they want to.
And that's a perfect transition to what actually happens in this diagram, because now with the lack of pressure, the left-sided player for the white team is able to switch the fields to the other side, where they've in fact managed to find the right-sided midfield player or the right-sided defender coming forward. And because of the eagerness of the left back to get forward, or the left-sided midfield player to get forward, now we've ended up with a big space on the weak side of our team.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think what I'd be looking at here is if the goalkeeper's played the ball out here to this left flank for the white team, right flank for the defending team, and this is the objective for the white team, surely we want to have the Reds try to keep the ball here. A couple of things that I could say the red team have done okay. This player has at least prevented the penetrating pass into the goal or the objective for the whites. So at least he or she has got into the line of the pass. Also, as we see the ball getting played across, we are seeing movement as the ball is moving. So I'm okay with that. I'm also okay with some pressure coming from the other side of the ball as well as from goal side. So I think that is okay. And also, although this pass is a big switching pass, at least it's being played across the front of the majority of our team and not bypassing too many of us. So this is a little bit of a glass half empty, glass half full, depending on how you want to look at it. But again, if we were using pug goals here, like 3 little micro goals, then this could easily just be a pass into the goal because the shift has been slow to come and the switch of players become positive. Key to me with all of these issues is we know our principles of play. We know the roles of the players as the ball moves. And we can't talk about team defending and compactness, which is the ultimate goal of team defending, if we don't discuss and address effective pressure on the ball as quickly as possible.
And in terms of compactness, Ian, what would be the consequence or the outcome of putting in wide goals for the Reds to defend?
Well, I think this one central goal definitely dictates that we need to get pressure on the ball, and then we're going to be able to force this team quite square. If, however, this player has an attacking option here, potentially an attacking option to the center and an attacking option wide, it requires more communication, more organization of our 6 defenders because they're covering the full width of the field. We've actually made this, I would argue, just a little bit easier for them initially because we're just trying to deny the ball into the center of the park. Another option for the red team could be to drop their defensive line down very deep and stay compact within a much smaller area of the field. And be more organized. The challenge our red team had here in this diagram is they tried to defend quite high up the field and then they opened themselves up. So they were finding it hard to stay compact because they had a lot of room behind them as well.
And it would be fair to say, Ian, if we added a goalkeeper in for the red team, then their eagerness to try and apply pressure very high would be reduced greatly because they would have the comfort of knowing that the player cannot just chip the ball from distance behind them into the goal.
Yes, if you put the goalkeeper in, then it essentially becomes a small-sided game, which is fine. But for the purposes of training a midfield 4 and a front 2 in compactness, high up the field, trying to prevent balls played in behind them to the opposing central strikers, and getting in towards where our back line of 4 is, I don't think you want to put the goalkeeper in because I think you'd be trying to teach a different type of challenge.
Well, thank you, Ian, and thank you, coaches, for joining us on this edition of Give and Go Live.